So I didn't plan on this when I signed up, but I have news to share with you that I'm really excited about. So a little bit about me. I've been a prof at Berkeley for 8 years now, working on alignment, initially through robotics because robots needed to be aligned, and that was a kind of an excuse to do alignment in the near term. I've had the fortune of working with amazing students. A couple of them are actually here today. They're now profs at various places, MIT, Princeton, etc. A couple of them are still in my lab. Oh, how are you too? Dylan and Jaime are here. And running their own alignment groups. But I decided it's kind of, with capability increases, it's kind of time for me to contribute alignment work in industry as well. And so I'm taking a leave, and I sign up to be Director for AI Safety and Alignment at Google DeepMind. Yay. Thank you. It's a big and humbling role. The scope is anything from near term, like the current Gemini, to the next one, to the one after that, to the one after that, spanning near term to quote-unquote long-term risks, and collaborating closely with responsibility folks. One thing that I wanted to share in this group, for those of you in the Bay Area, is that part of our increased investment in AI safety and alignment is building up more of a group, more of a presence in the Bay Area. So if you're interested in working with me on alignment in the Bay Area, that's where I'll be located as well. Don't hesitate to reach out, email, Slack, whatever works. Okay, so putting my Berkeley hat on, I wanted to share a kind of a very geeky topic that I'm obsessed with, which is the importance of human model misspecification in reward modeling. And, again, I started my career in robotics, and I didn't worry about objectives and alignment because robots just didn't work. It was very clear what we wanted them to do: pick up the thing, don't hit stuff. What does it do? It doesn't pick up the thing and hit stuff. That was the problem. But then, so we were pretending, basically, the AI problem looks something like this. I have a robot, there's a state space, it takes actions. Reward function falls from the sky, and that's the thing that the robot has to optimize. Now, when I started at Berkeley, this is a picture from back when DeepMind AlphaGo beat Lee Sedol. It was very clear that our ability to optimize for objectives was increasing. Maybe not as directly in robotics, but more broadly. And so I got very concerned about how are we going to specify these objectives for all sorts of agents. And I thought, well, the problem that we actually want to solve looks something more like this, where you have an agent, an LLM, a robot, whatever, and there is a reward function, but it's in the person's head. It's not directly visible, observable to the agent. And the agent's job is to optimize for that, except it doesn't actually get to ever directly observe it. And then so, naturally we started turning to human feedback, what people do, what they say, as evidence about the thing that's in their head that they would like for the agent to optimize. And so, we did things like, if the person specified, the person specifies a reward function, kind of take it as evidence, but not the definition of what they exactly want. This is Dorsey's work. This was back 2015, 2016, we were looking at A versus B, which one's better, and try to learn a reward function based on that. Later it became known as RLHF. And so now the robot on the right-hand side, or the agent on the right-hand side, takes in all this as evidence about what the person wants, and to do that, you need to give the agent what we call a human model, something that relates the feedback that it's seeing to the internal sort of parameters of the reward function that the agent is trying to estimate. And typically the human model, can I go back? The human model that we use, it got cut off a little bit, but it's sort of Bradley Terry, Lou Shepard, Boltzmann, comes under different names, but that's it, that's right there. People are noisy rational. The problem is people aren't noisy rational. This is completely wrong. It can be useful, but nonetheless, it's wrong. And we have a lot of empirical evidence that using the wrong model leads to poor rewards, empirical evidence. Lately, we started looking at this problem theoretically. Is it actually an issue in theory that you're using the wrong reward model? The bad news is that even small errors, you can have almost the right model with epsilon error just in the right place, and that can have catastrophic catastrophic, basically, influence on the error of the reward model that you're learning. And so this is kind of seems alignment is hopeless because we're never going to have the perfect model. We're always going to be outliers, so what do we do? The good news, let me actually say it this way, that we're being able to identify some assumptions that are not too unreasonable, but they're still probably wrong, where you can actually say that if you get a better human model, you have a guarantee on your reward model also getting better. And the assumption is that basically the human has to act in a way that is log concave with respect to the reward parameters, which probably is not true of human behavior, but almost. And Adam's looking at me, so I will conclude by saying, from this I take away that it is likely that improving human models will lead to better reward models. It seems important to do that, otherwise we might get catastrophically bad reward models that we're aligning to. I'm going to skip this, that's just some empirical evidence, and I'm going to leave you with this slide, which basically says, I've been trying to do human modeling for a long time, been making very little progress, little bit of progress. I think I'm excited about tapping into the large model's capabilities in terms of understanding human behavior better as maybe a way to make progress towards this problem. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you so much.